Hello, I'm Ren, Explain Cardadex, or Connor, and welcome back to Enshrouded. Today we're going to be working on a few little upgrades for the inn. I decided to take over a lot of the second floor here. I started working on last episode. I finished everything off and plated all that stuff, so I wanted to make sure that this looked pretty nice. There might be some cuts here or there. We'll see what happens, but I'm probably going to do this for a lot of the buildings, which is basically making a very simplified version of what I'm going for, and then eventually making the finality of what that is supposed to look like. There's definitely going to be some pieces of this that don't exactly make sense together, but we will fix that eventually at some point. I'm clearing the porch. I'm clearing the front of our inn. Because I'm going to change out how that looks, which will be very cool. I'm thoroughly excited to show you all that it's going to look a little bit better, especially in terms of the actual opening being more open. Another thing here, because I said last episode that I was building, I like the idea of little book nooks, but I also just like windows in every room. So what I'm going to do here, you can kind of see with the little wedge piece, I want to make small little areas for the windows to go inside of and just make everything look kind of cool. Oh, that's a part I have to edit out there. For some reason, there's like a frozen point here, and I don't know what happened, but literally the game just stayed like that. So maybe it was something that my computer was freaking out, or maybe it was just Enshrouded trying to figure out what the hell was going on, changing from day to night. I do one skip here because I'm sure it's not going to be fun watching me try and build this all the time, so I do set my placemats in terms of windows on all of these, which will look kind of cool. I'm happy. One of these is off. It has a 3 instead of a 2, which is, it's okay. It happens all the time. Not everything's going to be the way I am hoping for it. I dropped these down by 1 because I want to give the windows a little bit more of a narrow look. Here, I just say I'm tired of dealing with roofs, even though later on I do build a lot. I do build so much with roofs this episode, trying to make sure that everything looks nice. But oh my goodness, I can't tell you how often I was just so done, so done with building it. But it is what it is. Not everything's going to work well the first time, or even every time I try and build. Sometimes that's how it feels. But it does look okay. I think I make this one stick out more than the other ones, but it's cool because it's the middle window, and that's okay. I do, and I think I said this in the last building episode as well, but I just love the way that these connect. I love the way that a lot of these building items connect, but these ones especially, I think they mold in just the right way that I am a huge fan of how it ends up. Even though it could be more malleable for other pieces, but that's beside the story. I do make that one a little bit longer. I think in the thumbnail you'll actually be able to see them, but yeah, a lot of the work during this episode was from those. And actually a lot of the recording time was me not even building, it was just farming up more hardwood. So, but I removed all the hardwood farming from this episode only because it's kind of boring. There's only so many times you can edit chopping wood that is interesting to me, at least. I know there's a lot of channels that do that sort of stuff and people find it interesting, but now adding in the little side details, I finish up a whole bunch of those. The only downside of these rooms, and you'll see it here in a second, is that they're a small bit too, or they're oh my gosh, they're a bit too small. That was crazy workaround of words there. A bit too small to fit beds in. So I do have to fix that at a later time. I'm trying to make the roofs work for me here by pre-placing where the walls will go, so that way I don't have to worry about them mismatching super hard, and it will kind of all like fall into place. That's the plan. When things just fall into place for building, I get to have a huge sigh of relief and not a huge cry of pain. So the only downside, I did mess this one. The only downside is, and this is probably for like future me, if I make another inn, I should make more of a hub central, so that way we have a little fire and it's more cozy, and it's just in a general sense a lot more of a welcoming, even if it is pretty ramshackle, a more welcoming feel for sure. I do like, because this saves my walls from having a whole bunch of those little bits from the shroud wood blocks, which is sometimes those sticking out kind of irk me really bad, especially if there's a roof on top of them. I'm thoroughly displeased, but it is what it is. There's not much I can do about it. Maybe there's a mod that fixes it. I don't know. I don't know even if there's an enshrouding modding community. I'm sure there is. There's a modding community for everything. I recently have been playing a lot of Valheim with a friend, and I found out, because I'm like, man, I kind of want to make things a little bit more flat and, you know, more together, more solid. And, oh my god, you start picking up those mods, and you can make things as flat, and you don't have to ever worry about picking up a hoe ever again. It's great. I love it. But this is one of those games where I don't know if I even want to go into mods, because I feel as though it might ruin a lot of what I seek for in this type of game. Here, I do, I change how the front porch is set to go the other way, so that way it works better with the doors. I also expand the deck, where I send it out probably another, I think, a small block list, so that way there's more room on the porch to kind of move about and stand in front of the doors and move around, which I like large porches and stuff. I don't know why, they're just really nice to have, like a little rocking chair or something. Maybe it's the old man talking, but that's just one of those things that you kind of like, the little things when it comes to these little buildings and stuff like that. Oh no, I skipped a crucial development part. Well, it's fine. Basically, I just fill in the sides of those windows, and it looks pretty okay. I wonder how much, if I actually expanded the porch or anything. I think I just go right inside and try and figure out if I can place a bed or not, which I can't. So I tried to place a bed, and then I wound up just having to expand everything a little bit. And now there's enough room. I don't want to put it in front of the window because it's offset. So I set it to the side here, and I put stuff behind to kind of make up for the fact that I can't put anything necessarily like front and center. But I love this. I love this little kind of look and feel for it. What I should have done is I should have put the table more into the corner and the bedside table more at the foot or on the opposite end, so that way the drawers weren't, you know, just instantly closed. But at the same time, I kind of like how this looks nonetheless. I should have put more detail into these little side areas and stuff, but I just didn't really feel like it. I want to be honest. I was kind of in a rush, not necessarily because of anything. I guess it was mostly just me off-putting it, being kind of a procrastinator when I should have just buckled boots and did what I was supposed to, but it is what it is. And The video may not have been what I wanted to make at the time, but it is a pretty cool one nonetheless, because I like building stuff and being able to see how that transpires over the course of, you know, what feels like however long. Like in total, this whole me changing and going through and placing one block at a time and all that stuff, this only took me like 30 minutes. So it was mainly the other details, like the fences and stuff like that, I started placing for the outside stuff. And some on the inside. I have to go through and actually fix that, but that's just for another day. Another day of upgrades that we have to fix and change and do all that stuff.
Hey, make yourself at home.
It's when I find out I have to make more of those, or I have to have more hardwood on me to actually be able to continue building things. I almost bought that, or not bought, I almost made the furnace so that way I could have a little thing up there, but I don't know, I stopped. I need to have a little bit clearer of an idea as to what I'm doing so that way I can make it in the right way. I think I should have kept the extension on those roofs at first. Look at that. Look at that. I love that. That's nice. I put our tables down because it's just going to be our little common area over here. Grab all of our chairs, move them about. I don't know why. This is one of my favorite things though. I love placing those in strange ways. I like placing decorations in strange ways, having a table just like out and about. I love islands in housing. I don't know why, but it's definitely one of, or like little serving area from kitchen to the dining area and stuff like that. I just love those. I don't know why. It's just a hole in a wall, you know, and I'm like, I could put food through there. Nice. But for some reason, I'm just like a huge fan of those. And there's a lot of these details I'm like trying to look in, and I'm contemplating whether or not I should kind of go out of my way to go and do this or pick this up or whatever else. I do get the brazier, something like that. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. For the downstairs area, because I like how that would look. And I tried to place this other thing inside, but it just didn't feel right. I like the brazier there though. Like right here, it's just more of like an outside tiki torch sort of look to it. So I do just place it outside because I think it lights up more, and I did take the torch off of the stairway, so kind of needed to be changed around. Here I just go and harvest a whole bunch of the wood. But all is good.
I got my eye on you. Hey!
I try and figure out what else I want to add. I think if I do another inn at some point, I'm going to make it most likely twice or three times the size, because I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of the constraints from this. Also, these are weird pieces. I don't like those angled handrails, because there's so many areas I would have liked to be able to place it and not have it like right there. It's just a flat edge. It's just an awful little edge right there that could almost, like, imagine stubbing your toe on that. That's not a fun time. And during this, I really just contemplated just not using these and stuff, and I don't know, they didn't seem to line up. I don't know if it was a a me problem and I wasn't doing it right, or if there was a true way of doing this without it being as crazy as it was. I have to set all these back to their normal height so that way I can place them properly. I do it again here. I don't even know why I did it again here. It turns out okay, I guess, but it was another one of those where I contemplated just not doing it because I was, you know, just in that mindset, I guess. And like the edge is, I just don't think these things' base is wide enough to handle the handrail bottom or top. Gotta try and figure out where this will go. This one I need to fix. I need to go in and change and fix it up properly because I add the rails here, but obviously they don't look, at least that one on the corner is kind of messed up and I need to fix it. And I just kind of left it. I was like, yeah, this is good enough. I'm fine with this. I just block up a whole bunch of this little corner because I don't like the holes that it was producing for stairs. I wanted to make it look fancy for certain.
Hello.
I do a little bit more of that later on as well. I think right here I was contemplating my sanity, but that is the case for every time I build. And I think when it comes to a lot of my stuff, I like things being very simplistic, very, like, I don't have to go insane when I make things because it's surrounded by a whole bunch of other stuff that looks the same way. Whereas if I did go crazy with it and did a whole bunch of different things, I feel as though I wouldn't get that same sincerity as I do with a lot of my building pieces right here. See, I try and fix this and I just stop because I'm like, well, I don't even know what I'm doing there. So I stop myself. Right here, slow down time from 2 times to show you the front end of the house and pieces I have to fix. I do like that though. I like how that turns out. It definitely has a much nicer feel to it. I have to go and fix all that road again. I just placed the road for everything and just messed it up. The stairs look okay. This little area down here, I love common areas. I do this a lot in a lot of the building games or survival games I play. Like I play Conan with the same guy I play Valheim with, and I like to put those little decorations in just because it feels nice to me. You know, it's a lived-in place. There's a lot of stuff going on, but there's still people that are inhabiting and going around and doing things. It's just pretty nice. I forget. I throw my mouse down there, just like, oh my god. I just put everything away, and I'm already finding things I have to fix. But that is the way of that. I know my stuff isn't as professional as other people's videos on building and things like that, but I think it's important to have different perspectives, especially when it comes to the sort of artistic composure of building in a video game. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I think I finish off the video with that too. So thank you for watching, listening, going about your daily life. I've been Ren, Explain Card Decks, or Connor, and I'll see you in whatever is next. Take care.